All right, addicts, this is DJ REM, and I have Sean from the band Smile Empty Soul on the line. How you doing, brother?
Great, man. How you doing?
Not too bad. What's going on tonight?
Not much. I'm actually just chilling out. I'm in Conway, Arkansas right now, just relaxing between tours and just doing nothing. How about you?
I just been jamming some tunes. I played your new track tonight on the show and got some good response from that. So then I played a track from your old album as well, and yeah.
Terrific.
It's all killer stuff, man.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
So why don't we start, if you don't mind, introducing yourself and then the other members of the band that are not with us tonight.
Well, I'm Sean. I sing and play guitar, and then there's Ryan who plays bass and Jake who plays drums.
Very cool. And can you tell everybody what's going on with you guys right now? I guess you mentioned you're kind of in between tours, so what exactly do you got lined up?
Well, actually, we have a new album called Chemicals that comes out October 1st, and we have a new tour. We're headlining the American Chemicals tour starting October 1st as well. So we've got, new album, new tour coming up in October, and I'm just kind of resting up here for a minute before we begin this new madness,
Okay, well, very cool. I would definitely wish you guys the best of luck on your tour. I hope everything goes very well for you.
Thanks, man.
And so how long has Smile Empty Soul been around?
Well, we put out our first album in 2003 and, hit the road for the first time in 2003, and we've been doing it ever since.
Okay, very good. And what got this started back in 2003 for you guys? How did the band get together and get this rolling?
Well, we started playing together, before 2003. That was just the first major label release that we put out. But Ryan and I, the bass player, and I started jamming together in 1998 and formed a band and called it Smile Empty Soul. And, we ended up getting interest from a producer that brought us into the studio. We recorded our first album. After having recorded many, many times on our own, just demos throughout the years, we recorded our first pro album and got a deal at the end of 2002 and, released our first record in the early 2003.
Okay, very cool. And before I forget, I want to give a big shout out to Ryan Feldman for hooking me up with you guys. And I also have to give a big shout out to Shauna O'Donnell because she's the one who hooked me up with Ryan. So thanks to those guys for making this all happen. I totally appreciate them.
Totally, man. Ryan's great. I only know Ryan, but he's a great guy.
Yeah, very good. So I guess this is a question just kind of for you. What kind of musical influences have you had and do you have in your life that, kind of got you into this whole music thing in the beginning?
Well, I grew up listening to all the great classical rock bands, through my parents, of course, and then I was always into the alternative rock scene in the early, mid '90s, late '90s, and I was into, the Deftones and Tool and those types of bands there in the late '90s and early 2000s, and all those bands, I think we kind of have a well-rounded bit of influence from a few different eras, We all grew up listening to a little bit of a variety of everything.
Okay, very good. And then how hard has it been to keep this band going and keep things moving along? Has everything moved pretty smoothly for you guys, or is it, has it been kind of tough?
It's definitely had its ups and downs. We've had some great times and some great moments, and we've had some extremely hard moments and sections of our career. So we've kind of seen a little bit of both worlds, and today's day and age is not exactly easy to even be doing rock music, but we always manage to find a way, and we're very passionate about what we do, and we love it. So it's kind of what we do.
Yeah, and if if it's something you're passionate about and giving your heart and soul to, I mean, obviously it's going to be a lot more worthwhile and than if you don't. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I love it to get through the hard times. You know what I mean? Anybody can get through great periods of success, but when the hard times come, you better really love what you're doing.
Exactly. Plus, that shows good cohesiveness with the band too, to be able to get through the tough times. You know?
Oh yeah, you have to have a good relationships within the band to get through those hard times, or else you'll just explode in those moments. You know?
Exactly. So, where did you get your musical talent from? Did you have anybody in your family that kind of was into music that kind of led you along, or was it just something you kind of picked up on your own?
Well, that's actually funny you ask, because my parents were in a band together in high school, and my dad was the guitar player and my mom was the singer. And my dad has always been in bands, and he's a guitar teacher, piano teacher, music teacher, and my mom has always been a singer. So definitely had a little bit of it from both sides there, and it was always a big part of my life.
Oh, very cool, and big horns high to mom and dad. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, I'm sure you get asked this a lot, but I still got to ask you, how did you guys come up with the name Smile Empty Soul for the band?
It was actually the name of a song that we had when we first formed, and we were looking for a band name. And it was a song that we had about fake people walking around with fake smiles on their faces. I'm sorry, empty people walking around with fake smiles on their faces. And we were looking for a name and couldn't really come up with something that we thought was memorable enough and short. So we eventually just figured, let's go for the crazy name that we know isn't taken.
Very good. Okay, so you have this new album, Chemicals, coming out. How long did the process from when you guys started writing for this album to actually getting the studio and getting it recorded? How long did the whole process take you guys?
It was a pretty quick process, actually. Some of the songs that we recorded for Chemicals had pieces of them that were written a long time ago. And a couple of the songs were songs that I kind of pulled from the grave and reworked. And so as far as the process of beginning to write the songs, that started 10 years ago. One of the songs is even partially that old. But most of them are new. And some that we actually sat down and started getting the songs down as a band. So when we actually finished the recording was really fast. We did about a month of pre-production in the studio where we just rehearsed the songs and got the parts right and the builds right and got the songs where we really wanted them. Then we went in the studio and we recorded all the basic tracks, the drums, guitar, and bass together, trying to get a little bit more of a live feel and a little bit of sloppiness and humanness in there. And so because of the way we did it, we didn't do a whole lot of editing, which is what takes up a lot of time. Studio is going through and comping drum tracks, bass tracks, and guitar tracks. We skipped a lot of that, and we just went straight to vocals and, did what we had to do with the vocals there for a little bit and overdubs, guitar overdubs, and vocal harmony overdubs, and we were done. So the whole process of recording the record was only a couple of weeks.
Very cool. And what I'm always curious to know, what recording studio did you use for this album?
We went into a studio called the Steakhouse in North Hollywood, California, and we did the drums, the guitar, the basic guitar tracks, and the bass tracks all together. We were only there for one day, and then we took those recordings back to our producer Eddie Wool's personal studio, where we recorded all the vocal tracks and guitar overdubs.
Okay, very good. And I have to say, I only have one track so far off the album, and that is "False Alarm." And because I know that's the first. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's the first track that's really being pushed right now, right?
Yeah, that's the first single. Yeah, we just put it out a couple weeks ago.
Yep. So, what can you tell me a little bit about that track and what's going on with it?
Yeah, it's kind of got an interesting flow to it. It's not a typical song structure, and it actually it's kind of repetitive and doesn't have a lot of different lyrics in it, but it's kind of purposeful, and it almost has like a little bit of a lullaby kind of effect, I think. And the lyrics, they may seem a little bit there, but I want to let people kind of interpret them, as they want to. I think the lyrics can be taken, a whole bunch of different ways, and I'm always interested to hear what fans think it might mean.
Yeah, definitely. And I have to say, when I played the track a little while ago when I first started my show tonight, and people in the chat were like, "Hey, these guys rock!" So
awesome, man.
People are digging it for sure.
Oh, great.
So where, on a different note, where is a great place for people to go to find out more about the band? What social networking and websites and stuff do you guys use?
There's SmileEmptySoul.com, and then there's, we're on Facebook. If you just search Smile Empty Soul, and then we're on Twitter as well, and we have an Instagram. And between those 4 places, that's pretty much where we're posting things. So.
Very good. And obviously, when you're on tour, realize you're not going to have as much time. But when you're not touring, do you guys pretty good at responding to fans and stuff on there?
We try to respond even when we are on tour.
Very cool.
We try to keep up with all of that. These days with smartphones, you can pretty much manage your any social media kind of things from your phone. It's a little harder to do the .com site from your phone. But as far as the Facebook, the Twitter, and the Instagram, it's all us posting things that we say and pictures that we take, So.
Yep. Very good. Okay, so we know that the new album's coming out, and what are kind of the goals for the band? I mean, what are you guys looking for the future here?
I mean, we're just continuing to do what we always do, which is write music, record music, and play music. And our goal is to do, to put this record out and push it at radio and go out and do all these shows that we have lined up. And just stay out on the road for, a good part of for the rest of this year and a good part of next year and promote the record.
Okay, very good. Well, like I said before, I definitely wish you guys the best of luck with the tour, and definitely wish you the best of luck with when the new album drops, and hopefully people go out and buy it, and hopefully people go out and buy physical copies and not just download.
Totally, man. I mean, it helps bands. I love physical copies still. I'm just old school like that, but it does help bands when you buy it on iTunes. When you buy a digital copy like that, it does help bands still. It counts as an album sale, and you are purchasing the music, so we appreciate any type of sales. Like you said, the only thing that kind of hurts is just those free download torrents where you just kind of rip it,
Yeah, stay away from those people. Come on, spend some money.
That's right.
How about merchandise? You guys have merchandise available, like at your website and stuff?
Yeah, if you go to SmileEmptySoul.com and you click on merch, there's a merch store, and that's great. They're on top of everything over there, so any order you place, they'll get it shipped up to you, in a matter of a week or two, and we're gonna have some new stuff coming out on that store pretty soon for the new album. Have a bunch of stuff from our previous album and previous tours up there now.
Very good, and obviously everybody, if you see these guys, Smile Empty Soul, in your area, go to a live show. Buy a T-shirt, buy an album there. That's anything to do to support, to keep things rolling for these guys.
Absolutely, we appreciate it all.
So, question for you: if I grabbed your iPod or your MP3 player, however you like to listen to music, your phone, whatever, what bands would I find you listening to right now?
let's see. I've been listening to a lot of Pink Floyd lately, and I've been listening to a lot of Fair to Midland lately, and Carnival.
Very good.
Probably my most. I've been listening to newer record quite a bit lately too.
Okay. Renee in the chat right now, she just threw out that she didn't get to see you, but she knew you guys were at Hammerjacks in St. Joe, so she's...
Oh, cool. Yeah, we were just there.
How was that show? Is that a good venue to play at?
Yeah, it was great. It was the first time we played in that particular venue, but we've been through that town quite a few times, and so it was a good time.
Very good. Okay, so now's your chance to sell the band. What sets you guys apart from all these other bands, you know, because there's a lot of bands out there trying to get their name out there and do live shows and just get people to tune in. What sets you guys apart what are people going to get if they come to a live show from you guys?
We're 100% real. We're 100% honest, and pretty rare to find these days. We are who we are, we dress how we dress, and we do what we do. You know, there's not a lot of gimmicks going on. But I think we bring it pretty hard in our live shows, and I think there's a lot of energy that goes on, and if you like our music, then it's definitely something that I think you'd enjoy.
Okay, well, I will definitely second that, and I want to remind everybody, you know, when you come to Rock Addict Radio, if you want to hear Smile Empty Soul, all you got to do is say, hey, DJ, play it for me, and we will make that happen. Anything to do to support you guys, so...
Great, man. We appreciate that.
Okay, so this will be like the second most important question of the night. The first most important is coming up, but...
Okay.
What's the craziest thing that's ever happened to you at a live show that you've done? And when I say crazy, it doesn't have to be bad. It could be like, you know, like that, oh my God, that just happened, starstruck kind of moment.
That's a tough one. There's so many memories over the years, you know, different things happening. A lot of other bands have pranked us on the last night of our tour and done some pretty crazy things to us, and I'd have to go with those different moments. We actually got covered in beer and pie trays full of cottage cheese by this band called Strata, and then they actually had soaked cases of those big marshmallows that you make s'mores out of in beer for a long time until they got like soupy and sticky, and they were pelting us with them while we were on stage after they'd already put beer and cottage cheese all over us. And they pelted us with so many and they were just sticking to everything that I actually had like an inch and a half of pure marshmallow into each shoe. And my guitar was actually, I couldn't even play it anymore because the strings were just sticking to the body. And the show was over, you know.
That's pretty crazy. For sure.
Yeah.
Okay, now it's time for the most important question of the night. Who in the band spends the most time in front of a mirror before a show?
Well, you know, it's funny you asked that because you just asked, you know, what sets us apart from other bands out there. And I would think that one of the things that sets us apart from other bands is that there's not one person like that in our band. So none of us wear makeup. None of us dress up in any special clothes for the stage or anything like that. I mean, we got t-shirt and jeans on, and you know, our hair is probably messed up from sleeping on it right before the show, and we don't really care.
So you let your music walk the talk, right?
Absolutely.
Very cool. All right. Is there anything else, anything I have not asked you that you want to make sure people know about Smile Empty Soul?
You know, I think you've pretty much covered what we're trying to promote right now, which is, you know, our new record, Chemicals, comes out October 1st. If you haven't already checked it out, we did put out a new record last year called Threes, we're very proud of that record as well, and I think it came out great. Check that out too. And then we have this upcoming tour called the American Chemicals Tour. Excuse me. That starts October 1st and runs all the way through December 14th. So we're going to be out there for 2.5 months, and we're doing like 60-something shows. And you can check out our dates that we have so far on our .com site and our Facebook and our bands in town. And we're going to be continuing to post new confirmed dates as they come in. And I think we've got about almost 40 up there right now, and it's going to end up at about 60-something. So, definitely check it out. And if we're coming through your area, come see us.
That's color. You definitely have a busy schedule ahead.
Yep, for sure, man.
But that's what you want, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, my brother Cam from the band Rock and Roll Villain Society, he's hanging out in the chat tonight, and he wants to know what the first album was that you heard that made you want to, do something like this.
First single album? I don't know. I don't think there was like one particular album. You know what I mean? I think it was the '90s grunge scene though that really snagged me overall. You know, those Alice in Chains, Nirvana, Soundgarden bands right there were the first bands that I got super passionately into, I think, you know.
Yep, very good. Another question from the chat. Renee wants to know what advice do you have for new bands that are just starting up and trying to get their name out there?
Be ready to work really hard and, really, really focus on songwriting, because it's very important to write songs that are going to stand out, I think songwriting is probably, if you had to pick just one thing that above all things can get you somewhere, it's that. Being a tight band, it can get a lot of people will think you're a great, incredible tight band, but it might not get you as far as if you write some great songs.
Very good. That's great advice. And I love your part about be prepared to work hard, because it seems like there's a lot of bands out there that think this is going to come easy to them, and that's definitely not the case.
Oh, not at all. Yeah, it's really tough out there, especially these days. Everything has gotten harder and harder, and, it's a working class kind of job at this point.
Yep, very good. Okay, well, I want to thank you once again, Sean, for taking time to talk to me, and I'm glad I got to get you live on air so everybody could hear the interview. And just so you're also aware, this will be, I'm recording this, and I will get it edited, and I'll have it within the next week or so. I'll have this up on YouTube as well, and I'll get that out to you so you guys can share it as well.
Awesome, man. Thanks. I appreciate your time.
And I'm going to play a little false alarm here by Smile Empty Soul, and if you don't mind just hanging on the line for a minute, please.
No problem.
Alright. Okay guys, Rock Addicts, DJ REM here. That was Sean from Smile Empty Soul. Kick ass. Here's a little false alarm. Crank it up.